we'll let folks trickle in, and I can start with a few FYIs for Zoom. So we'll go ahead and get started there. So take a moment and make sure that your chat and captions are accessible. You can read this here, but you can enable and close your closed captions on the bottom screen if you need that. We also would love for you to update your name. So there's those little 3 dots on the top right-hand side of your face on the screen, and you can click on those to change your name, rename it to your preferred name, where you'll be serving next year, the city you'll be serving it, and then your pronouns if you'd like. And then just do a mic check. Make sure you're on mute if you are not speaking on your device. And then, yeah, continue to introduce yourself as we continue on through here. So I want to introduce you to the service year advisors here today who are leading this panel. And we're going to start with myself. As I said, my name is Becky. So Becky Martin, she, her, hers. I am a service year advisor for Greater Boston, New Hampshire, and Providence. I'm also a City of New Hampshire alum, and I'm just excited to be here with y'all. So I'll turn it over to Molly.
Hi, everyone. My name is Molly McCormack, pronouns she, her, and hers. I am the service year advisor for our City Year Sacramento and City Year Los Angeles sites. I also served at City Year Los Angeles. I'm excited to be with y'all today, and I'll go ahead and pass it to India.
Hello, everyone. My name is India. I use the pronouns she, her. I am the service year advisor for Dallas, San Antonio, Orlando, and Little Rock. So hello, crew that's trickling in. And I joined City Year in 2022.
Okay, great. So we'll turn it over to Molly to introduce our panelists.
Thanks, Becky. Alrighty, I am so excited for y'all to meet our panel members. We've got first year core members, we have a team leader, all from different sites, and they are going to introduce themselves when we get to their slide. They are coming in here with a lot of wisdom to impart. So yeah, our first city is Dallas. We've got 3 first year core members from this beautiful city. Without further ado, I will let our first panel member introduce themselves.
Hello, can everyone hear me? Thumbs up, yes. Hi, everyone. Yes, this is my first service year here at City of Dallas. My name is Sarah Whaley. My pronouns are she, her, and I am from Dallas myself, and I joined because I felt a great connection to community service work, and I fell along the line of finding City Year, and my future is to become a teacher. And it's been an amazing time so far working here. There are challenges, but at the end of the day, it's like making such a great change for the students that we serve in the community that we do. Anything else?
How does my mic sound? All right. Hey guys, I'm Alder Quiroz. I'm from Dallas. I was born and raised here, and this is my first year at City Year. I've been in the nonprofit for a while now. I was at another AmeriCorps, but I stumbled upon City Year last summer, and I applied and I got in here. And so far, it's been like one of the most meaningful years of my life. I'm also a dad, so like tackling this along with fatherhood has been like very mind-opening, and like it's been great.
Hello, everyone. My name is Reagan Reyes. I'm with City Year Dallas. This is my first year, and I'm a 6th grade math student success coach. I really love being with City Year. I definitely see education and service as a tool for upward mobility in my community. So I'm just happy to be here, and I thank all of you for also joining this meeting. Thank you.
Alrighty, thank you, Dallas crew. Love having you here. Our next city is City Year Los Angeles. We have a team leader. Without further ado, I will let our team leader panel member introduce themselves.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hi, I'm Celine Scott. I'm the team leader at Now Academy and the City Year Los Angeles site. My pronouns are she, her, hers. As you can see, my favorite snack came recently. I went to a potato corner at the suggestion of my friend, who is also another team leader, and I loved it. But besides that, I came to City Year the first time just because I was like in the middle of changing, deciding between two different areas. And then I came in as actually as a mid-year, so that was actually an interesting experience in itself. But by the end of that year, I was really attached to City Year and the community, so I came back again to help that same community that I was in, because I'm not native to Los Angeles, but I would say I'm a native to California in general. Um, and it was kind of a last minute decision, but I became a team leader. And now I'm leading a team of right now 4 people. And it's been a ride, but you know, I'm still here and I'm loving it. So
Awesome. Thanks, Celine. Let's take it to our final city, Sacramento. We have Sacramento joining us today, an awesome AmeriCorps member. Let's go ahead and have you introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Danielle. I'm a first year here. My school is Leotito Floyd Elementary. I'm originally from Placerville, but I moved to Sacramento when I was 10, and I actually went to the school that I'm now serving at, which is really fun for me. I started City Year after I had my very own City Year, and they inspired me so much and helped me be the person I am today. And so it kind of inspired me to want to do that same thing for the students here at Leotito Floyd. And I just look forward to the rest of my time here. And luckily, I got to come back next year, so I have a lot to look forward to next year as a service leader.
Amazing. Thanks y'all so much for sharing more about like your motivations for serving. I'm super excited for this panel. We're going to start off with some prepared questions, and then we're going to leave the last 10 minutes of our call to do some open Q&A with our attendees. India, thank you. Everyone is already spotlighted. We are fired up and ready to go. So let's go ahead and start off with our first question. So we're going to keep it light and easy, but what tips or advice do you have for incoming Corps members who are preparing for their service year?
So something I can say about joining City Year is that you are going to have patience with the students and getting to understand where they may be coming from. And then so you know you can create this special bond, even a special bond with your partner teacher. And you can honestly see how successful they can get by the end of the school year.
The advice I have is definitely come into the year with like a planner, because I'm neurodivergent and like at first I thought I could wing it, you know, I would have everything up here, but so many events went on by, and I feel like a lot of the mistakes I made at the beginning of the term could have been avoided if I had this to begin with. Knowing what's going on in the week, because so much gets piled up in a week, and definitely have a planner. It helps with the organization.
So with preparing, I definitely would say to organize your needs before you're even like thrown into the classroom or training or anything. So that can be organizing your sleep or your meals, and just prepare for more socializing. If you're not someone who's been socializing a lot before, get ready.
I have 2. So one very important one is find out what you do for self-care. Like if you don't know now, you want to try to figure that out, because and see something that you can find that you can implement with the rest of your day, because a lot of times it might feel overwhelming, right? And I always suggest take one step at a time, but knowing what you have for self-care is good to start with. So now that you know how to take care of yourself better, in these slightly randomly stressful situations. The other one is like always ask questions, right? Especially in the very beginning. The more questions you ask to clarify the situation you're in, the better you can have a better grasp of what you're doing. And that also goes along with being communicative, right? If you don't ask the question, people won't know what you need help with, right? And don't be afraid to ask people that are not on your team. You can ask people, staff members, people from other teams. Don't be closed off or squared away in just your own bubble.
One piece of advice I have is definitely remembering to have fun. It can get a little stressful when you're like planning lessons out for them, but always remember to have fun, especially with your students. Build those relationships and bonds with them. And just remember, like, don't take too much to heart. Stuff that they think is like so like bad, they'll forget about it literally the next day. If they tell you like they have a grudge against you, the next day they'll come up to you asking for a hug. So I always remember, like, don't ever take anything too much to heart, because the very next day they're going to forget about it.
All wonderful words of wisdom. Having patience, have a planner, tools, know how to take care of yourself, and don't always take things personally. We know those relationships are going to like develop slowly over time. Alrighty. This next question may not apply to everyone here, but if you did relocate to serve with City Year in a whole like brand new city, what was your experience moving? Like, what challenges did you face? How did you overcome them? Let us know. Does this question apply to anyone here?
I will say something on it. So, like I said, I'm native to California, maybe not LA. So I did have to move a little bit for both times. And I will say it's a struggle. But my advice would be to plan ahead, right? If City Year is something you're interested in joining and being a part of, and you're committing to that, always try to research where you're moving to. See if there's any like support systems out there that they can already help you. Like LA has like a lot of things for people that are homeless or people that need housing and stuff like that. So do your research beforehand. And also talk to City Year to see what supports they might have in place for you as well, because you never know where you can get support from.
Thank you, Celine. Yeah, definitely want to double click that plug for reaching out to City Year, especially your service year advisor. We have housing guides for every single one of our sites, and we would love to support you with all things related to relocation. Thanks again, Celine. Our next question is, well, should apply for everyone. But how do you commute to your partner school each day? How has that been for you? Tell us about that process.
So sadly, funny thing, I am 23 years old and don't have a car, don't know how to drive. So luckily I have a great community here at work that will help me to take me to work and back home. But I also take the public transportation. It is a bit crazy, but since I'm raised and born here in Dallas, I'm pretty used to the public transportation. Luckily that city does provide me bus passes, so that doesn't come out of my pocket, which does become a pretty expensive for each single day. So, but most of the time it's my teammates offer me that service for me.
So I drive to work. I'm on more of the north side of Dallas, and like I have to commute down more south. And one thing I'll say is that Dallas is very car dependent. So looking into like bus passes, the Uber pass too, will definitely go a long way. So if you, oh, also Dallas traffic too is like a nightmare. So be ready like to like commute an hour early so you can avoid that traffic. And also staying an hour later at school, probably going walking, will also help you avoid the peak time traffic too. And it'll be much safer.
So, getting to work for me, I definitely rely on family, but when it like comes to me going home, I get a ride from one of my coworkers. That's something that you'll like kind of learn through City Year, that what we call is community care, um, which is like, just people helping each other out and making sure we're able to, get done what we need to. So.
At the LA site, the city year also gives us the Metro Pass. They have a pretty extensive bus and metro system over here for like LA in general. And I would also say, like, keep in mind that you might not get placed exactly where you want to go. So it might be a little bit further. So for me, I drive. I have a vehicle, which means I have to keep my vehicle upkept, which is a lot hard. It's easier on some days, but the commute time is always hard to gauge. So I always try to make sure I'm early, um, so I'm not late. So because if I decide to leave a little bit later, then I might not get there the time I wanted to, right? Because traffic over here is not fun, especially when um, maybe accidents can occur out of nowhere and on the middle of the freeway and stuff like that, or even on the streets. So you just, that's something that you have to account for when you're planning your day out. You'd be like, oh, I have to wake up at this time so I can get here at this time. And if it is something that is difficult, I would also agree with the other panelists. Your community can also be there for you depending on how your team dynamic is. So always be vocal about the stuff that you're going through, right? You never, like I said before, never know where support comes from.
For me, I got very lucky. I got assigned to a school that's right around the corner from where I live, so I walk to work every day. But I also have a sister school, which is Oak Ridge, so I do have to like plan out how to get there since it's quite a distance from me. I usually either get like a ride from family or I'll ask a coworker, which is also like it's very good to have those bonds with your team and build those bonds because you end up actually relying on them sometimes, and it's nice to like be able to ask them without feeling that awkwardness or anything. Or like sometimes we have to go to the office monthly for like just little meetings here and there. So just planning that out, looking at routes. I definitely recommend like looking up routes you can take and like how long it will take there, just so you know like the exact time when you have to leave home, and just the planning. Planning is like very important when it comes to like your routes.
100%. Thanks, y'all. Yeah, I would also add no shame if folks here don't have their driver's license yet. I didn't have my driver's license until I was 25, and I survived LA just fine taking the metro to service. So, yeah, some communities are more like bus friendly, others you'll want to commute through your car, but y'all can definitely work on a format that works for you and plan ahead. So thanks, y'all. Let's get to our next question, which is, okay. So what tips do you have around budgeting and living on a stipend? Are there city year benefits you found most helpful throughout the year? We'd love to know.
So one city year benefit, I want to start with this city year benefit is the health insurance that they do give, which I found out works pretty well when it's very hard being an adult and you can't afford it on your own. And then some other benefits and perks that they help you out that I noticed, because the stipend is not as much. You can only probably pay your rent and pay the utilities, but once you budget everything out, you can it's better to do those public transportation. It's better to like make an agreement with your coworker and probably give them 25 each week if they take you to work. But also, I know from my city here, Dallas, they had someone to help us get food stamps even. And with that, you're able to still survive and eat well. And so it's all about budgeting. And if you don't know, don't be afraid to ask for those help, but definitely try and kind of figure the cheapest way out of things.
So for the city year benefit and budgeting, it kind of goes hand in hand because at City Year Dallas, we have Operation Hope. I don't know if it's at the other sites, but we have a financial advisor and they help us make a budget too at the very beginning of the year. And also they help you like get rid of debt if you have anything. Like I had like a lot of credit card debt. Now like I'm like halfway down and now it's like so manageable. And like I also like to like splurge a lot when I get my paycheck, but like going to those like trainings that they have, like, you know, it really helps you put your money into like mine. And it's really possible. Like I'm a dad, so I have to buy stuff for my baby too. So like um trust me, it's possible to like budget it.
So a tip, and I guess where I made a mistake this year, try your best to not pay for work things with your stipend. So I know, look, I love the kids as much as everybody else. I went and bought them all the erasers and everything, right? But the school has resources, City Year has resources. So try your best to keep that in mind, use what's around you. Also, with City Year Dallas, there's plenty of times where we have like free food events. If there's some left over, take it home, feed your family, save it for work tomorrow. Now you've saved maybe an $8 lunch. Now it's free, you know. Um, Also, of course, plan ahead and practice financial literacy as much as you can. But those are my main tips for budgeting and saving your stipend.
So we also have Operation Hope over here. But I will say like budgeting is like essential for being on a stipend. I also had that mistake of trying to buy stuff for my kids. But like depending on how you work it or like what you have to pay for and what you don't have to pay for, maybe you have leave room for that, but I won't know that. But I know as a team, my team, we decided to have a snack drawer. And so, like, if anyone didn't have enough money that week, they could go grab stuff from there, and then we would refill it every so often as a team. And then we also have a refrigerator, which means like if you can make something at home and bring it, do it. One time I brought like a loaf of bread, making PB and J's. But yeah, just be resourceful when it comes to that, because food does kind of get high, especially when your stress levels get high. So take into account how you're feeling and how you're going into the service like year. If you're feeling a little bit burnt out, and you may notice you start spending more when that happens, like what can I do to prevent that burnout, which will prevent me from burning out my money while I'm at it. So
What's helpful for me is I have a budget book where I use to like write down like all my expenses and stuff, and like so that way I could separate what I need to pay first. That way I know like what I have left over for like those weekends when you just want to hang out with friends or just go out and treat yourself for a little self-care. City year wise, I will say that having like they do help you get EBT if you need it, which is very helpful, especially so that way you don't have to pay from your own stipend. You get to like pay with the EBT, which I find is very, very helpful and a lot of stress taken off. Another thing that I say that's here in Sacramento is that our site does free tickets for a lot of stuff, which is the best. We get like free tickets to concerts, PBR, the professional rodeo, concerts to 50 Cent, concerts everywhere. It's just really, it takes that lift off of you of like, I don't have to pay for tickets if I want to go have fun. I can just get them for free. And they're always such good like seats too. Like I think it was last month we went to PBR and it was like front row seats there. And it was just the most amazing experience ever. So just having that in mind, and like, don't say no to the tickets. Like, even if you don't think you want to go, like, trust me, you're gonna want to go. You're gonna want that time to yourself, and like just time with your team, because usually everybody who gets them ends up going. So then you end up building better relationships with them in the end.
Awesome. Definitely double click finding free things to do in your city, especially if City Year is providing it. And yeah, definitely, if y'all don't know about like the state benefits, you have to like see how the state can like provide EBT or like food stamps for y'all. Definitely talk to your service year advisor about that process. So a lot of sites do offer support, or at least can point you in the right direction. Alrighty, that
Oh,
was
can
our
I add
last.
one more?
Go for it.
And the student loan deferment, that helps a lot. You don't have to pay your student loans while you're doing service.
Yep. If you got qualifying public loans from undergrad, definitely use that education award to pay that off. Thanks for the tip, Reagan. Alrighty, those are all of our pre-planned questions. We've got about 15 or so minutes left for our call, so I'd love to switch over to some open Q&A. We had a lot of questions come through the chat, so I'd love to give those folks priority. I believe the very first one was asking if anyone else has like a side job or like career going on while they're serving with City Year. I'm seeing some like shakes of no. Does anyone have a side job? All there.
I don't have a side job, but one of my team members works on the weekends. But like that's some type of negotiation stuff that I'm not a part of. But you know.
For me, I'm a photographer, so like I try to put all my stuff on the weekend. And Dallas is like so huge, and there's like a lot of clientele here. So like if you're into like videography, photography, then doing City Year, it's gonna go well.
I worked briefly for a flea market at the beginning of the year on the weekends. And it's definitely possible, you know, to find you just like a 4 to 5 hour shift just for the weekends. And it'll help a lot. If you're able to handle it, it'll help.
Awesome. Any others? No? Cool. Those all sound like some great side gig tips. Use your talents, work a flea market. But as Celine said, remember to make your time for self-care as well. Y'all will be working some long days, which does lead us into our next question from the chat, which is, how many hours do you typically work during the week or during the day?
So that's usually a good 50 hours. But it's pretty good if once you plan everything out right, because City Year does offer a lot of events or volunteering, which is so much fun volunteering within the community. Also having the chance for a career development night. So that's how your schedule starts to look about 50 hours. And then if you're in a situation like me that's doing early leave, then they are providing you things to do to get up to that time. So you're looking at a good 50 hours a week.
Yeah, I'm gonna retweet that. Like 50 hours. But you also get the chance to do more if you want to, just so you can make that hour mark to get your education award. So yeah.
Same, ditto.
Pretty standard. Alrighty. Now we have more questions coming through. So to keep us moving, this could be a fun one. I know it does vary from location to location, but when will folks find out what specific, like where their partner school is going to be, like what school they're going to be serving at? Do y'all remember?
So City Year has this thing called BTA where you do training first, and that gives the council time to figure out which schools they're partnered up with and which teachers are available that needs a City Year member in their rooms. So you're looking at towards like the end. But for us, we start in August. towards the end of August, we knew by then. So you're looking for like a good month right after training. And then once you go from there, you go straight to the classroom by September.
So we typically find out the location a little bit before. So that way you know who's on your team. But you still do the BTA training and everything. And then you get on to the school campus. So it's very similar, but we know like what team, what school you're going to be going to a little bit before. A little bit before like, either BTA or orientation, one of the two.
Yeah, I would say kind of the same. So it's like about 4 weeks of training. We found out during our 3rd week of training where we were gonna go. It was based off of like a little survey we got to take where they let you like put your recommendations from like first, second, third, just in case you don't get your first one. For us in Sacramento, we had like a little cute like reveal for it, kind of like if you ever seen Harry Potter when they do the little sorting hat, that's basically how we did ours. We did it like a cute little reveal where they rhymed our school name with a poem, and that's how we found out. And then the next week is just basically you at your school getting to know like the staff and decorating your room. You get your own like little city year room that you get to decorate. So definitely I would say the 3rd week is about when you learn all your schools and stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, I would double click that it does depend on the site. For some folks, you'll find out during training. Other few sites, you'll find out earlier before service begins. So if you're unsure, definitely talk to your service year advisor to find out what your site does. And now we have a bunch of questions from the chat, but I see someone did raise their hand. So Sydney, do you want to go ahead and ask the panel your question?
Of course, if you'll have me. First off, it's great to meet you guys. I know we probably won't get through everyone's questions, so is there a way we can contact you if we have any questions about just in case you don't get to answer all of my questions?
I do want to say, step in a little bit to respect folks' time. I know
Of
AmeriCorps
course.
members, their primary role is to be serving day to day. However, if folks on this call, our panel members are like interested in asking questions for folks, then we can definitely connect with your service year advisor. So panel members, if your question didn't get answered, chat your service year advisor and they can forward that on to like core members who are actually serving with us. And then we can get you the answers to those questions, because I don't want like all of our incoming members to be like chatting all with a million things when we have advisors who are paid to do that. So definitely want to
Right.
respect y'all's time.
Understood. And then one of my questions is, what's it like to work with children from your community? I'm aiming to work with children elementary age, and I understand like you guys mentioned there's training you go through for that. So what's it like for you guys?
You know, for me, it helped a lot by me being here from Dallas. You know, that's not the same for everyone, but I relate to what the kids go through. So we sort of created that bond and you know, so now it's like more of a beautiful thing. They literally call me mom, mother. I have 8th graders and they're big babies. They're such big babies. So it's just creating that relationship and respecting, having that mutual respect with kids. I even noticed that with younger kids and just giving them that undivided attention with them and actually listening instead of over talking them, then it's, yeah, you have the best relationship ever.
For me, I feel like it's a huge spectrum of things because some days it'll be like very slow, and then some days it'll be really rewarding. Well, when they'll actually like learn something, and it's also humbling because like at the beginning of the year I was like, oh my gosh, you're so stubborn, and then I'm like looking back in time and I'm like, wait, I was that stubborn too. So I'm like, I'm in this position now where um I can coach them through things that I went through so they could have the best development.
I definitely agree with like what Aldera says, how it's like you'll just realize how y'all relate on a lot of things and how you kind of start to see yourself in them. And it's like um I think it's great working with kids from my community, regardless of what they go through and how they can be, because they're kids. I mean, they're learning. So it's more important about like how you show up so that you can be there for them. So that's really the big part.
I would say just meeting them where they're at, right? I can have a relationship with any one of my kids because the simple fact I try to just get to know them. I try to see who they are as a human being because even if they are children, they're still humans, little tiny ones, and you just want to make sure you're giving effort into that because the kids will see if you're not trying to get to know them. They'll feel that, they'll see it. They'll see it in your actions. So maybe they might say something they're not supposed to say. You can tell them like that's not really something you're supposed to say, but like, why did you say that? What's making you feel that way? Those little questions kind of like build up on each other and create that relationship with the student that you guys will eventually have. And it's just upon us to make sure we're keeping it like a healthy relationship, adult to child.
Gotcha.
For me, I work with 4/5th graders, so I have a little mix of each little grades and ages, all ranging. And we're one of the biggest class, so there's 31 kids and just the teacher and me. So there's a lot to look around and like a lot of littles to talk to. I will say they all have like their own personality and just like making sure that they know that they can be themselves around you is definitely a big thing here. Um, there are times when like they want to get to know you, and so like just not like know when to say like, oh well, that's too much, and knowing when to say like, well, I feel comfortable sharing this with you, especially because they will test your boundaries. They will see like how far they can go with you. And it was one thing that I had to learn, especially like saying no sometimes. Like they're so adorable, so it's so hard to say no when they ask you for stuff. So like being like a not like strict, but like knowing when to say no. Just having that line drawn. That way they know like I can do this with CY, but I can't do this. Definitely just getting comfortable around them, letting them get comfortable around you, especially like the kids here at LFE. They're more looking for like a shoulder to lean on more than they are looking for somebody who's gonna cuddle them and cuddle with them. They just want somebody to have that firm hand with them because they don't have that where they come from. So they're just looking for like a strict hand. They're looking for a role model. And so here we tend to like let them know like you can talk to me. If you are having a rough day, I want to know about your rough day. Like don't hold that back from me. Let me help you through that rough day. There's even days like you'll be a hairdresser one day and they'll want you to braid their hair and they'll want you to like help them look nice, or they'll do their nails and they're like, I did my nails, can I do yours? And like just getting on that friendly type level, but also knowing like there's a line between that friendly level, I would say.
I got you.
Definitely. Thanks, y'all. Alrighty, coming up on time. I think we have room for a couple more questions. If we wanted to try and go in order, another question from the chat was, what does a typical service day look like for you?
So leaning towards the end of the year is very different from the beginning. From the very beginning, it's usually waking up 5 a.m., getting to here by 7, going to like here is called advisory, like periods where it helps to keep up with the attendance of the kids. Just getting your day prepared and talking to your teachers and students, and then staying in the class with your students all day, even going to lunch. After that, you're coming back to the City Year room if you have one, and planning everything out from academics to SEL, which is social and emotional learning. You will deal with kids who needs that boost of confidence or that support. And yeah, it's a lot of getting things together. Once you have that, you pack up and just completely go home, just pass out.
I'm gonna retweet that.
Same. I will add that we do do something called like power greeting, which is basically when you just yeah, Tara forgot to add it. It's okay. When you basically just are greeting the students, trying to get a feel for the day, trying to get a feel for the energy in the school. And then yeah, you go to class, you're doing that support, you're either gonna be doing small group, which is four or less, one-on-one, which is of course one-on-one, and then whole class. That's when you're making rounds, checking for understanding, bridging those gaps in the learning. And then yeah, after that, you go back to your city year room. Um, I don't know if everyone has different roles, but our team has like different roles of somebody who does social justice, someone who focuses on the trust and joy. So then you just start working on those other things. And then yeah, you go home by 5.
Yeah, it's like similar to the Dallas site. Um, except for like I'm in a team leader position, so I have a little bit more time to plan and stuff because we also have a after school program. So like we said, you come to the school, we'll do like a meeting in the morning, we call it first circle. Um, then we kind of start out our day a little bit before school starts. Then school starts, we do power greeting. After power greeting, if we have I have a little session where I plan stuff. So I then there, other people go straight to class because we're in different grades. Um, and then we'll be in class for like the majority of the time. I'm at an elementary school, so they have a recess. During recess, we'll do a couple of the days of the week. We'll do some recess support and do some activities with the kids, um, and then we'll go back to the class until lunchtime. Lunchtime is usually our lunchtime, so bye bye to the kids, and then we going back to the classroom again for a little bit, and then I'm going out around like 2 something, so I can prep for after school program. And then after school hits and all the kids run out towards us, we do our after school program from that time all the way to like 4:45, where we help them with their homework. We do activities with them, and let them have some free time if it gets to that. And then sign them out, let them go home, and then we clean up the room, close out the day with our final circle, and head out.
So for us here in SAC, we work 7:30 to 5:30. It differs. On Wednesdays and Thursdays, it's 5:30 is when we leave. Mondays and Tuesdays, we leave at 5. And then Fridays are the best days because we get to leave at 4 o'clock, which I absolutely love. Every day is different for us. Some days we'll have like a work time where we get to plan out like lessons for our kids and like just plan spirit weeks and stuff like that. Here we have like a spirit week once a month, so we always are planning those out, making posters. We're a small team. There's only 4 here at LFE, so we don't do the power greets, but we do have our sister school, Oak Ridge, so when we visit them once a week kind of, we have to do little power greets. But I will say they are fun. Some of them are fun and you get to lead some of them. Like my favorite is like a little banana one. If some of you have done banana, I absolutely love that one. At the end, school ends at 3, which leaves like 2 hours of just plain work time. So that's the time I usually use for like self-care. If I'm feeling it that day, I'll read a book or just color, whatever makes my heart feel better from a long day. Some days I'll be working on like work because some days you will have like assignments to do, whether it's like just writing like a reflection of your day, or like everybody's different. Every task is different from time to time. But I will say it is nice to just have that time because you'll be with your team most of those hours, just talking and chatting. And time goes by pretty fast, I will say. Before you know it, you'll be ready to go home, which always surprises me how fast time really does go.
Awesome. Thanks y'all so much for sharing. I feel like we could keep going for like 2 hours with continuous questions, but I do want to honor everyone's time. Attendees, please show some love for our panel members in the chat. I hope you found this session valuable. I hope y'all took notes. Remember these little nuggets of wisdom. I'm so sorry if we couldn't get to your question, but please reach out to your service year advisor. We know they've been reaching out to you, so they want to hear from you and they want to know your questions because they want to support you this year. So again, reach out to your advisor. Thank you so much, panel members, for joining us today, for taking time out of your service away from those cute kids to talk to us. We're going to host another panel session in May, so y'all are welcome to come back. We would love to see you there. Thanks y'all again so much, and we will talk to you later. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was nice meeting you.
Thank you.